All right, so you are about to be hosting a webinar or a virtual event, or maybe you're about to go do a stage presentation, and you have hundreds of ideal target customers that are about to be sitting in this presentation, and hopefully you're going to get a lot of people to say, hey, I want to work with you after this presentation's over. You're doing a sales presentation, ultimately, is what this is. Now, you might be wondering, how much should I teach? Like, do I just give away all of my best secrets, all of my best tips, and so that, the more that I give away, the more likely they're going to work with me? Or should I just give a lot of fluffy information because I don't want to give too much away? Well, that's what we're going to dive into today, is how do you deliver a presentation in a one-to-many fashion that's educational in nature, but doesn't teach too much that actually repels sales. I'm Zach Hesterberg. I'm the founder of paidevents.com, soldoutevents.com, paidchallenges.com, and that's fully what we focus on. That's all we do, is help people with paid virtual events. We help them with stage presentations that sell their high-ticket offers in a one-to-many format. So if you're interested in hosting an event or selling from stage, and you want to make sure you have the right combination of teaching a lot, but also not too much, you're in the right place. Let's go ahead and jump in. We're going to start this video off with what is probably the biggest thought error in selling from stage, okay? A lot of people do think, especially in a virtual environment, that if they give away their absolute best tricks, that they will get the most sales in the back end. They say, hey, let me lead with as much value as possible. Let me just overwhelm these people with how smart I am and how knowledgeable I am, and surely they will buy from me. Unfortunately, I've seen it time after time after time after time that people are left empty-handed and with empty pocketbooks whenever they do this. They'll spend a lot of money to promote their ads, to get as many registrants there as possible. They give away their best secrets, and they are left with a bunch of people saying, this was such an incredible presentation. Thank you so much for all the information. But there's absolutely no leads that are booking calls with you, or absolutely no one buying your program. Well, why is that? It's because oftentimes people do teach, quite literally, too much. Now, I've talked about this in other videos before, where I'll explain a different scenario that has nothing to do with sales, but has everything to do with this exact conversation. Let's say that you are, going on a date with a spouse or a significant other, and let's just picture Valentine's Day, for example. You put on your best dressed outfit. You get them to get their best dressed outfit on. You put some nice fragrance on, perfume, cologne, etc. You have a reservation at your absolute favorite restaurant, and you are wanting the night to have a really nice romantic environment for the entire evening. You wanna maybe steer the night in a certain direction to maybe get yourself a specific outcome towards the end of the night, if you're picking up what I'm saying. And you sit down at the table, you guys get seated, and all of a sudden you put the menu down and you say, so let's talk about all the things that I've seen on CNN or Fox News recently. Immediately, the vibe will be killed. It's not that politics are a bad thing to talk about. It's not that you guys can technically even see eye to eye on your political views or your religious views. However, if you talk about something like that, while it's not necessarily bad to talk about, it's just not likely to steer the night down the romantic evening that you're hoping to have. And it's the same thing with selling from stage or any sort of a one-to-many sales presentation. Oftentimes, people try to teach as much how content as possible. They try to enable their customers or enable the people in the room to understand how to do all of these things. And hopefully, if they teach enough of the how content, hopefully the person will say, well, if they taught me this much in this short amount of time, they can probably teach me more. Unfortunately, that actually steers the buying environment in the wrong direction. It's kind of like bringing up, once again, politics on a nice romantic evening. It's not going to steer the outcome in the way that you want it to go. See, many people, when they try to teach all of the how content, what they end up doing is they end up empowering their customers to go do it all on their own. And it almost feels as if it's poor stewardship for them to go learn, hey, go step 1, step 2, step 3. They get this full SOP on how to go accomplish a specific result. They do that all in 1 hour. Well, it doesn't make sense for them to go buy your program yet, or buy your offer, or book a call with you yet, because now they just need to go implement everything you just taught them before they say, well, yeah, let me book a call and see the next steps. They need to make sure that this works and that they could actually take action on what you told them first before they're willing to actually now take a next step in your sales process. So you're literally empowering them to delay the sale because you're essentially saying, go do this before you hire me. And oftentimes, and you know this, we pay attention to what we pay for. And when we don't pay for the content, we very rarely will hold ourselves accountable to taking the action. That's the same reason why many people are overweight and call it what it is, just kind of fat nowadays. It's not because people don't know how to lose weight. It's because, you could go get ChatGPT to make you a meal plan and, and give you a full workout plan in the next 5 minutes from right now. However, you very rarely have the accountability because you don't have skin in the game. You haven't paid for that information. So it doesn't mean you're actually just going to go to the gym and go start changing your life. Same thing with your customers. You want to make sure that you are ultimately having them pay for your services, pay for your goods, pay for your offers before you start teaching them how to do everything it is that you want to help them with. And it's not from a place of like malicious intent, like, hey, you're trying to hold out all the secrets. Honestly, it's from a place of servanthood. If you think about it, if you only have 1, maybe 2 hours in front of an individual, you're not going to be able to teach them a fraction of the information that you have stored up in your old noggin, right? You are a subject matter expert. And if you're actually going to teach someone how to do everything it is that you know how to do, it's probably going to take you weeks to fully install all of that inside of their brain. Or at very, very least, put all of your content into some sort of an AI bot that you've already created for yourself, and then maybe they can then have access to that. But you're not going to be able to efficiently install all of this how content in their brains in the next hour. So why try in the first place? If you do it, you're only going to repel the sale and ultimately enable them to walk away from the presentation and end up not changing their life and not getting the actual desired result that it is that they want in the first place. At this point, we've kind of thrown some rocks on like, you shouldn't be teaching how. And so then it's like, well, what do I teach? If that's what you're wondering, let's talk about that. Most of the people that get the best conversion rates from stage, but also create an incredible environment that people still feel like they're learning a lot of information from, they focus on teaching the what and the why. Okay, so they teach what to do, like, hey, here's the framework, and here's why this framework, or here's why this method works so well, and here's why it works better than all of these other previous solutions you've tried to solve the problem. And hey, by the way, I also understand as the presenter, I understand that you've tried this and this and this, and I understand that you want this and this and this, but here's what's happened when you tried all of these other solutions. And you're ultimately showing them that you know them better than they know themselves. You're showing them that they can truly trust you, that you can relate to them. You understand all the ins and outs of their situation. When you show them that, now they're like, okay, I'm in the right place. This person knows me. And if they know my problems that well, and they know that I've already tried all of these things, they must know how to actually get the real solution. And so then you present your real solution. You present, hey, here's, by the way, my methodology or my frameworks, and here's why they work so well compared to all of those other solutions. Now they're like, man, this makes so much sense. I didn't understand that like step 1 and step 2 and step 3, that all of these things are, these are truly all different than all of these other programs I've been through, or all of these other, solutions I've tried online. And so when you're teaching the why, it's helping them conceptualize quite literally just why this is going to work for them. And so then they start to have a higher belief that your program or that your solution, your services will work well for them. And you're also going to have to show them through ideally some proof or some case studies or some fun stories that this solution that you have works for people just like them. Everyone has their unique limitations of why they feel like they're a special snowflake and why, they are always going to be held back for the rest of their life. And you have to show them through some stories that you've helped people just like them with limitation number 1 and limitation number 2 and limitation number 3 on all of those people have been able to get results with this program, so therefore you can too. Or not just this program, this operating system or this framework or whatever your methodology is. And so then when you're showing them that, now they're starting to get belief, they're starting to get hope, and they're feeling like almost this positive anticipation of an emotion of like, okay, cool, like I'm in the right place. This presenter knows me. They've already showed me, they've actually helped me gain clarity on why these other things haven't worked for me. And so now I understand it's not my fault. It's just that these other things weren't the best fit for me. And then they showed me this new solution that actually does work for me. And they've shown me proof that it would work for someone like myself. And then you start to give them an offer. And so when you give them the offer, you can then start to almost future forecast. Like you're painting this perfect little vision, almost this mental movie of what's going to happen once they install your methodology into their life or into their business. And when you kind of paint that mental movie for them, you're literally painting the desire. You're casting the vision for them, and you're getting them excited for the future. You're quite literally future forecasting for them. And when you do that, you've kind of taken them through a full sales presentation and they're ready for an offer. They're ready to buy, even though like they can technically walk away from your presentation and feel as if they just learned so much information, and they can walk away and they're like, yeah, I understand the framework. But then they go put pen to paper. They're like, I don't understand like how to actually do this though. very similar to probably, quite honestly, this video. Not to be meta, but like fully transparent. I'm not actually telling you exactly how to go throw rocks at all of the solutions. I'm not telling you how to actually tell those stories in a way that's not going to be salesy. I'm not telling you how to actually like kind of roll into your pitch and transition into your offer. I'm not telling you all of the how. I'm telling you the what and the why. And I'm hopefully painting this picture of like what it looks like to go do a presentation like this in a totally different way that maybe you've never given before. And all of a sudden, instead of crickets and no one actually buying, and other than, you get a few people to follow you on Instagram say, wow, that was such a great presentation. Instead, you have people left, right, and center reaching out to you on Instagram or booking calls on Calendly or going straight to your deposit link saying, hey, I'm ready to work with you right now. Like, this is incredible. You're the right coach for me. Like, imagine what that can do in your business if you start to give presentations like that. So that's what I want to drill home for you today is don't focus so much on teaching the how content, but instead focus on teaching the what to do, what not to do, why they should do it, maybe when is the right time to take action, and also what will happen when they take action. What will be the results? And you'll just might find that your presentations will probably start to convert significantly better than ever before. Now, fully transparent, if you would like to learn some of this how content, you'd actually like our help literally designing a sales presentation that you could deliver in a one-to-many format. Whether it's through a webinar, up on stage, or in a virtual, like a paid challenge or a paid event, I highly encourage you, go to paidevents.com and go book a call with either myself or someone from my team. We'd be more than happy to walk through how this could look like in your business, whether we literally designed the presentation for you. We've got coaching and consulting offers where we can teach you how to do it yourself as well. We usually have an offer for just about anyone, but the main core premise, the main core outcome we help people with is how in the world do you sell your high ticket offer in a one-to-many environment. So instead of getting one sale at a time, you could get maybe 10, 20, or even 100 plus sales at a time. And you continue to repeat that presentation so that way you can turn this into a customer acquisition system on evergreen. Month over month, week over week, you're doing these presentations and you are exponentially growing your business. So once again, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, shameless plug, go to paidevents.com, book a call with either myself or someone from my team. We'd be happy to walk through what that could look like for you. But anyway, that's about all we have for you today. If you got any value out of today's video, you'd like to learn a little bit more about, pitching from stage, building these sorts of kind of one-to-many presentations, I highly encourage you. If you're new, go hit that subscribe button. Whether you're on YouTube or you're on, Apple Podcasts or whatever, hit the old subscribe button. We have 2 episodes we release every single week. Every Tuesday are very naturally driven towards strategic or tactical videos where we're literally talking about revenue-producing actions you could go take into the business to go exponentially multiply your sales. And every Friday, we have Faith Forward Fridays, which are focused on biblical principles and scripture from the Bible and talking about how those can apply into how you're actually building your business, how you're leading your team, how you're even creating your offers, and how you're going about your entrepreneurial journey. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, hit the old subscribe button. Can't wait to see you in the next video. Till then, peace.